Welcome to High Level Athlete. I'm your host, Coach Mattair, where we dive deep into the lives of high school sports stars, uncovering their secrets to success, both on and off the field, exploring their training methods, mental fortitude, and dreams for the future. Today's episode is sponsored by Youth Sports Performance. YSP is dedicated to promoting sportsmanship, building self-esteem, and fostering leadership to youth through education, mentorship, and sports training. Today, we are joined by a senior Lambert Lacrosse athlete. He's entering his fourth varsity season and third as a starter. He's a first-team All-County, first-team All-State, and three-time region champion. In his 3 seasons thus far, his team has been runner-up twice and won 1 state championship. He's a USA All-American and most recently committed to St. John's University to play lacrosse. As a wrestler, he's a 2-time individual region champion and 2-time state qualifier. He is entering his senior season already with an impressive 110 varsity wins. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Max Sciro. What's up, big dog?
How you doing, man? You doing good?
I'm good. How are you?
Feeling great, man.
Good. Max Sciro, he's joining us today to share what makes him unique. So let's just get right to it, Max. Obviously, you're a multi-sport athlete.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to get into a little bit later about what you did early on in high school. But the first thing is the sport of lacrosse. Mm-hmm. What does the sport of lacrosse mean to Max Sciro?
So for me, I started playing lacrosse about 3rd grade. Didn't really know much about it at all. Never heard of it. Ended up, meeting a coach at a store. Kind of told me about it. He's actually my coach now in high school, Coach Rick Lewis. But I always played baseball growing up, and he told me to just go out and try lacrosse one time. And I was like, you know what? Why not? For me, I don't like sitting around definitely. So lacrosse is a lot faster than baseball. So
yes.
My parents definitely liked watching it a lot more than baseball. So from then on, I just fell in love with not only the game, but just the family around it. So the family piece about lacrosse is that, like I said, I started playing with these kids when I was in 3rd grade, and my closest friends there are now my closest friends still today. So it's pretty special, and to be able to play on such a good team at Lambert High School. You look at Georgia for lacrosse, we're not considered basically the top state, really. It's more like the northern states. But if you go up north and ask what schools are from the south that are good, they'll mention Lambert most likely.
Wow.
So something very special, and to be able to be like a starter on this team, and just the brothers around it, it just means the world to me. And just to play a sport that you actually love, it makes the practices so much fun, the work so much fun. Because if you don't like the sport, man, then what are you doing?
It's tough.
It's tough, man. So
and it's hot out there too now.
Oh, it gets very, very hot.
Yep.
So it's something special.
All right. So when it comes to mindset, obviously you've been playing this sport for a good number of years now. What would you say? What type of mindset someone would have to play the sport of lacrosse? Yeah,
so for lacrosse, first of all, like I said, you run a whole lot. So you're going to have to, be in good shape, whatever you do. And also the coaches are always going to be on you, just like any other sport. So, you got to stay on top of that. But for lacrosse, man, especially for my position too, it's just, it's all about the mind, man. If you're out there at practice with a bad attitude, you're just never going to get through it. It's just that true. And just lacrosse, when it comes to, you show up to practice, you do your work, but it's really what you do outside of practice too. That's what makes you better. That's like any other sport. Right. So I think you just come into lacrosse with a mindset that I want to get better. It's what I want to do, right? And if you want to do it 100%, then if you go out there with 100% effort, then you'll get something out of it, and then you'll enjoy it. So
okay. And you mentioned sport position. Mm-hmm. So what position do you play?
So I face off for lacrosse.
Face off?
Yeah, face off.
Okay. All right. So have you always played that position, or is that something you've evolved to?
Basically, I always played midfield, which that's one that runs all over the field. You can score on offense, you can play defense, but I always did face off too. And as you get to high school, they kind of move it to something called FOGO, which is like face off and get off. That's what they call it. But because they strictly want the ball. You're pretty important on the team, so they don't want you to get hurt. But anyways, it wasn't until 8th grade year, since I wrestled, I come late to lacrosse, and they're like, you don't know the plays right now, so just face off these first couple of games. And I ended up smoking these kids.
Wow.
And I knew that high school, you just kind of moved to just facing off. So I was like, all right, this is pretty cool, right? So then that's where it really started the position for me. And then when I got freshman year, I was just facing off. And I fell in love with it.
Wow. Okay. So prior to high school, midfield.
Yeah, midfield. Doing face-offs here and there, maybe, yeah.
So we're saying, due to you, and we're going to get to this later, about doing multiple sports, you were coming because that winter sport ended a little later.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So basically a lot of that, we'll call it preseason work. You couldn't get that with lacrosse.
Yeah, completely missed it.
Okay. All right, so you ended up kind of being thrown into that position, blessing in disguise?
Oh, it's 100%. 100%. I'm glad it happened.
Yeah. All right, so check this out. So mindset to play lacrosse is one thing. Mindset to be a face-off guy, is that a different kind of mindset?
Oh, 100%. For me, like, obviously I wrestle, but so it's like one-on-one. Face-off's the same thing. It's one-on-one. So you know, when the whistle blows, obviously you got all people on the field, right? But you know, for that first couple seconds, just you and the other guy and the ref blowing the whistle. So it's all mindset when you go out there, what you're thinking, you know, what I'm going to do, counter, how you do this, how you do that, you know, reacting off of them. You know, there's so many face-offs. It looks simple, but there's so many things you do. And it really comes down to, I mean, if you go out there and you're like, all right, I think I can beat this guy, and like full confidence in it, then it'll most likely happen. But you go out there with a mindset that's like, this kid's pretty good. I don't really know what's gonna happen, man. Then you might get killed.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So help us out.
Yep.
Face off. You and the guy, one-on-one. Do you have any rituals or any? Are you a son of your superstitious kind of guy? Like, do you have anything that you don't mind sharing that you know, either you say it to yourself or I say it? What's happening with you face off time?
So face off, I'm definitely a superstitious guy. I've always been that. My parents make fun of me all the time for it. But I know for me, for face offs, you know, it's one-on-one. I always say a little prayer going out there every time, you know. And then I usually last year and the past couple of years, I look at the scoreboard, I look at the flag for some reason, and I look at the stands. I'm like, my head's spinning around the whole time. And then I look down. If I don't do it, if I lose the face off, I blame it on that. So,
okay.
So yeah, I'm definitely a superstitious guy, but it makes me feel better when I go out there.
There you go. There you go.
I'm gonna keep doing it.
Y'all been winning, so I mean, something is working.
It's been working.
All right, so freshman and sophomore year, talking about the sports, you were a 3-sport athlete.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if people know that. You were a 3-sport athlete, and then going to your junior year, you decided to break it down and just go 2. What 3 sports as a freshman and sophomore?
Yeah, so freshman and sophomore year, I played football, wrestling, and lacrosse.
So it's safe to say you are a fall, winter, and spring sport athlete.
No breaks.
School year from August to May.
No breaks. No breaks. I didn't get a, so, you know, people come home after school. My brother always did. So it wasn't until the last week of school that I didn't have a day where it wasn't practice.
Wow.
So the last week of school was the first time, like the whole year, freshman, sophomore year, that I got to come home after school, like without a practice. The last week.
So now coming into high school, was that the plan as a freshman?
Oh yeah, I've just I've been playing 3 sports since I was in since I was in 3rd grade. So and I was my parents, you know, I had teachers tell me, all families tell me that, you know, you're not gonna last 3 sports. You know, 3 sports is really tough. They're
you
like,
said what to that?
I said bet. Like, and I was like, watch. And then freshman year, sophomore year, I had a blast. It was so much fun. Don't get me wrong, because I don't really like sitting around at home, you know what I'm saying? If I can go out there and practice all year long and just different teammates all year long, I mean, that's awesome. So I loved it. I enjoyed it. But don't get me wrong, that last week was definitely nice. Getting to come home. That one week I got getting to come home, man, it was something special for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So you did that your first 2 years, and then you going into your junior year, that's when you decided to just focus on wrestling and lacrosse. If you can think back, for one, what was the reason for going from 3 to 2? And then did you notice any difference in your play, like whether it be on the mat or on the field? Did anything change? So what was the reason?
Big reason for me. So I started playing football when I was in 3rd grade, and I love football. I love the coaches at Lambert. I really did fall in love with it. But that summer, sophomore year summer, was a pretty big summer for recruiting, and also that spring. And I saw myself sophomore summer kind of making these bigger plays against these bigger people. So I was beating all these kids that were supposed to.
And we're talking lacrosse.
Lacrosse, yes, okay. Lacrosse, yeah, sorry. But talking about lacrosse, I was beating these kids that face opposition that were supposed to go high D1. But I was beating them not consistently, but I was like, I know I can get that good. Yeah. I was like, I know I can, but I'm just doing what my natural ability is. I have no teaching. I didn't do any teaching until my junior year of how to face off at all. It's just all by myself, what I learned. So I was like, I knew I'm going to have to make a sacrifice. And so I knew football summers are crazy. I mean, and lacrosse summers are crazy as well. And I knew that if I wanted to get something I never had, I had to do something I never did. So I took away football, and I decided that whole summer I was going to commit to, so this is my sophomore summer going to my junior year, right, when I decided that I was going to commit everything I could to lacrosse, and just by trainings, by a summer ball, and it certainly all paid off, which is truly special, because I was worried, because I really did love football. I did love football, and I do miss it today, but I know that I made the right decision. So
Got it. 3 sports, so we're talking football, wrestling, lacrosse. Similarities. What would you name a couple of things that are similar and go across the board with all?
So obviously for wrestling, lacrosse, especially my position, like I mentioned earlier, wrestling's one-on-one, right? It's just you on the mat and the other person. So I think to win a wrestling match, to win a tournament, to win a state title, to be a placer in wrestling is probably the biggest accomplishment out of all those sports you can get. Because it's just you. You can't blame it on anybody else. You can't say it was his fault. He didn't do this, he did that, because it's just you. So I think that's what I love about wrestling. You go to my position in lacrosse, even though, yes, I play on the field sometimes at their face-off, that first 5 seconds is one-on-one. So I think that's truly special. Then you go to football, and the thing about football that I felt the most connected with, and that compares to lacrosse, is just the team. I mean, between football and lacrosse, just you see each other so much, I feel like, and you're just with each other all day because how long the practices are, the weight room, and just I felt like that was connected the most between it. And honestly, when I stopped playing football, I lost some of those guys I know that I was friends with, and which is okay. I mean, you make sacrifices, you have to. But I did lose some of that definitely when I stopped playing football. But between football and lacrosse, I think just the family that I had was more than anything. There's a family in wrestling too. I'm not leaving them out. But I grew up with more kids in football and grew up with more kids in lacrosse that I was closer with. So having to say goodbye to some of those football kids was definitely hard. But between that and football and lacrosse, I mean, I think just the team support was just probably the best thing.
Got it. So we'll just focus on most recently with the two sports. So you're wrestling in the winter, and then spring you're going into lacrosse. What's your trick? Like, what do you do? Like, how do you switch gears? Because I mean, yes, there's some similarities, but it's still two different sports.
Oh yeah.
You're practicing for one, wrestling is all indoors, right? Lacrosse is all outdoors, right? Timing, one may be an AM practice, a PM. How do you switch gears from one sport to the next?
So for lacrosse, wrestling, for me, wrestling is all throughout winter, man. You do not see, on Saturdays, you're in the gym sometimes from 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. 12 a.m. I'm serious. I mean, like, you're in there all day sometimes for those big tournaments. So I think definitely for me, especially this last year, I like to do, especially when I figured out that I wanted to play college lacrosse. I was like, all right, during wrestling season, I'm going to train wrestling, but I still like to throw in lacrosse once a week, whether it's being me going to train with some buddies, me going to train with a coach. But then obviously I'm not quite as good at the beginning of season lacrosse because you're rusty. But I think the best thing they say about wrestling is that it'll put you in better shape than any other sport. I mean, there's no question about that. I'm always, when I go to the I remember Coach Spade telling me this, because some people were like, you're missing all the conditioning, and Coach Spade was like, guys, he is fine. Like, I promise you. And I come in, I'm definitely know that I'm in one of the best shape out of the whole team. So honestly, the transition is actually really easy for me because my shape is good, and that's the most important thing. It might be a little rusty the first 2 games, but I know for me, because how much I love lacrosse, that I still, during the off season, so during wrestling season, when I have free time, I'm still putting in that training, just here and there. Not as consistent as I would during lacrosse season, but just not forgetting it. Putting in that training here and there, just so I have so I'm not in a hole when I get to lacrosse season. So that's big for me.
So 1 day a week, that's actually pretty smart. So yes, I'm full-time wrestling, but I have my mind also what's coming.
Exactly.
In January, February. So was this your idea, or did a coach encourage you to incorporate it?
Well, I really saw it because sophomore year when I was wrestling and playing lacrosse, because sophomore year is the first year I started my position, and I had an okay year. This is when I didn't put in really training, but throughout that whole wrestling season, I just wrestled. And because I just was doing what I naturally do, so I'm on the lacrosse field, I was just doing what I've learned, which hasn't been much for my position. And so junior year, when I, when I decided that, I wanted to get better at my position, that's when I was like, okay, if you want to be good at something, you can't take a 4-month break from it, and then hopefully you just go back out there and you'll be all good. So I know that was myself being I'm going to have to go out and do some lessons, some inconvenience here and there. But, sometimes we probably didn't want to go out, but especially on those Sundays, because those Sundays after wrestling tournaments, man, they're brutal. They are brutal. Anyways, so usually the Sundays, whether it be a Sunday, like a Wednesday, Tuesday, I know they have these weekly trainings that I go to, and they cost money, but my parents are willing to do it because they know what I wanted.
Sacrifice.
So yeah, the sacrifice that I wanted. So that was really a past year thing, and obviously it helped a whole bunch. So that was,
Okay. So the big stage, so you have no problem being inconvenienced. It takes, time. Your parents understand it takes money. But let's be honest, it feels good when it pays off.
Oh, 100%.
All right, so 150 pounds, that's what you wrestled at,
yes, sir.
Right? 2-time state qualifier.
Yes, sir.
Lacrosse, Freshman year, you all won a state championship.
Yep.
Sophomore year, came up short, but runner-up. Junior year, came up short. But either way, it's safe to say you're wrestling on the biggest stage, playing on the biggest stage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You ain't afraid of the big stage?
No, I love it. Since I've been doing this forever, since I've been so young, and I'm like, when I come to, people ask me all the time, especially for wrestling, right? It's a one-on-one. They're like, you get nervous? I know my brother, for instance, he wrestled. He would, no hate against him, but he would be, he'd be freaking out for matches sometimes. And a lot of people do, especially all the freshmen that come in. But it's because I've probably had over 1,000 matches in my whole life. And so when it comes down to like these just one-on-one moments, it's just, like I said, all about the mindset really. And just, I don't get nervous, just go out there, give it my best. And I think for being on that big stage for wrestling, when I go to state, it feels the same. I mean, obviously it's a little more powerful out there, right? A little more motivated, but I'm just as nervous as I am wrestling the weekly tournaments here than I am there. Just everyone gets a little nervous. I'm not gonna say I don't get nervous at all, right? Because everyone gets a little nervous, but no, I just think of it as one match, right? That kid. He's the same weight as me. He doesn't have an advantage to me. He might be wrestling longer, but that's how you train in the off season, right? That's what's going to pay off. So I think that it's just all mindset, and then just taking a deep breath and going out there and give it your all, because it's only 6 minutes on the wrestling mat, right?
6 minutes.
6 minutes.
That's the max.
6
Also, we hope we can get it done sooner.
If we can get it done sooner, that'd be great, because 6 minutes sometimes will definitely affect your next match. If you're out there the whole time, it'll definitely affect your next match for sure. So it's 6 minutes on, 6 minutes off, and then you'll live. So you can either regret what you did, or you can just go out there and try it all. So
when your season starts, let's say you start your preseason or your off season for wrestling. When you enter in that season, are you believing, or are you knowing I'll be on the big stage in the end? So
definitely for me, so it's pretty funny. When I started wrestling when I was younger, I had a group of kids. So I started wrestling when I was very young, but I had a group of kids that are now all like 3-time, 4-time state champs, going to wrestle big Division I. They decided to stick with wrestling. My parents didn't let me. They wanted me to be a multi-sport athlete. Very glad they did.
Yes,
because I'm loving that now, obviously. But so going into like the preseason, past couple years, I knew like for this area around like region that I could be one of the top contenders. For state, people wrestle year-round all the time, and I don't wrestle year-round, as you know. So they had a little advantage of me. I never really thought what I could do, but definitely this year more than anything, I've already been putting in off-season training for wrestling, which I normally don't do because I'm so focused on lacrosse. And so I know for this year, I definitely think this is my best chance of maybe getting a state title, hopefully. So last year, sophomore year, placed 5th in state. I did not expect that at all. Did not. Freshman year, I had an okay year. I think I went 32-25, which is good as a freshman, winning record. Sophomore year, I went I didn't have as many matches because of football. I came in late, but I think I went 32-7, so a lot better. I ended up getting 5th at state, which was awesome. Last year, I went, 40-8, and then ended up getting unlucky at the state championship. But I did expect to place last year, and I didn't. I fell short, which really sucks. But coming into this year, for sure, I think this is knowing it's my senior year, it's my last year I'm ever doing this, my expectations are high, which gives me motivation to work for it, especially if I'm going to say it. And then, I want to I want to back it up, right? So my goal is definitely to get a state title. I think that would be amazing my last year. But if not that, definitely come out with a placement just to finish off my high school season.
And when you say placement, is it top?
So placement's top 5.
5, okay.
Top 5.
Cool. As you're preparing before the seasons, so I've heard how you preparing for lacrosse, and you sneak that one. I'm gonna call it sneaking, right?
Yep.
That one day in. How do you prepare for wrestling though? Like, let's say in the fall.
Yeah. So right now for fall, Coach Contardi's been pinning us once a week, just Friday, just kind of like we had it this morning, just kind of go roll around. Nothing too hard at all. But Contardi texted me at the beginning of the summer and was like, "Hey, there's gonna be these off-season trainings, with some really good like top coaches that wrestle in college, NCAA champions, NCAA placers, All-Americans." So and I was like, 2 years ago I would have said no, because but this year, like I said, it's my last year. I've been doing this for 14 years. It's my last year, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go do it. And so I've already done we've been doing this past 2 months now, and it's already helped so much. And just going out there, so it's once a week or twice a week at West Forsyth High School. You have kids all around the county come, and just the coaching that you get, it really teaches you a lot. It just kind of pits you. When I go into wrestling season, usually the past 2 years, I'm at the I have nothing. I'm just starting in that hole kind of, and I have to build myself out of it each year. This year, I'll have some backup. I'll be already I already started wrestling this year, so when I come in October, I won't be like behind at all.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'll be like, I should be like further than I ever been already. So by the end of the year, I'm further than I ever been before. So that's the goal there.
I like it.
Yep.
I like it. So obviously you're going over to the high school.
Mm-hmm.
That's some training that's happening outside of school. So when the school year starts, in terms of feeling like you're at the top of your game, is your practice at school, is that enough, or do you tend to do stuff outside of school during the season?
So it's pretty funny. This shows a lot, but sophomore year when I did place fifth in state, obviously you can practice in school. That will help, right? Anybody can do that, though. The practices are still hard, don't get me wrong. But we went, me and some buddies, Zan Kelly, and just the wrestling, the bigger wrestling guys. We went to the this Peter Yates. He wrestled at Virginia Tech. It's just huge wrestler. And we went to his training, started doing it at the end of the season, and it helped so much. Now, don't get me wrong, practices were the worst thing I've ever done in my life. Yeah. I mean, big time. It was terrible, but you never regret them after. That's the thing for sure, because they helped so much. And so I started doing that sophomore year, and ended up placing state lat. And then for that last year, did not do it. It was too much focus on lacrosse, which honestly, I mean, I don't regret. I had a great lacrosse season.
Correct.
But this year, for sure, I kind of want to mix in both. I want to put in the extra work for wrestling. So during the season, I'm still probably going to have two practices a day. It was the sophomore year. The worst was when you have practice in the afternoon from 4 to 6 just for Lambert. Then from like 8 to, or was it like 7 to 9, you'd have the off season. I'm not the off season, the off-site practice, right? And then you'd have morning practice at 6 a.m. for wrestling. So you have 3 practices before the next school day sometimes. Ooh. That was a lot. That was a lot. So I think this year for sure, though, I'm definitely going to keep that 2 a day sometimes. It's not every day you have 2 days. I think it's twice a week, the off-season practices or the off-site practices. So if I can just make it to even 1, it'll be better than just going to Lambert practices in general. So that helps a lot.
What about lacrosse during the season? Do you do anything outside of Lambert lacrosse during the season?
Oh, yeah. So practices for me for lacrosse, I love practices. I think it's just time to hang out with my buddies. Don't get me wrong, it's serious. Like, it is very serious. But when I'm with like that much friends and everything like that, it's awesome. But for my position face-off, we call these getting reps, where we go a group of guys and we'll just go and we'll get someone to blow a whistle for us, and we'll just go and do hundreds of reps. We'll do that. I've been on Saturdays where we've been out there for 3 hours before, 4 hours. Wow. And usually I got first introduced to it last year. A college guy in the area texted me if I wanted to go get reps, and I was like, sure. And I got killed by all of them. It was a lot of college guys, but then since then they've helped me so much, and now I'm competing with all of them, which is awesome. So during lacrosse season, I got to yes, I get reps all the time. I go to the fields. For lacrosse, you can go to fields and shoot anytime, and that's awesome. So then also I go to these trainings. They're held at Red Line Athletics with Nick Rowlett, who plays professional lacrosse. He teaches me a whole lot. So during lacrosse season, it's definitely more than 1 practice a day, but I enjoy it that much where it's like an obsession for me. It's like, if I'm missing out on it, then I feel bad for myself. And then if I don't play good the next week, then I really feel bad about it. So I might as well do everything you can so you don't regret it.
Wow. So you definitely have made that mental shift. I talk to athletes a lot about you can either view your session as a workout or a training session. If it's a workout, the word work sounds hard anyway. Yeah, man. Right? But if you view it as a training session, you're training for something. And obviously for you, it's that opponent, for one, or that next game, or in your case, it's been that state championship. So you made that mental switch, which is huge. Sticking along the lines of training, strength training. You serious about your strength training?
Oh, for sure.
What does strength training mean for you as it relates to your sports?
I think for strength, the hardest thing for me definitely was freshman year when I was cutting a lot of weight for wrestling. Lifting in the weight room was tough for me because I was trying to lose weight as I was putting on weight at the same time. But besides that, man, this offseason, since I stopped playing football, this whole summer and this fall now, I've been able to lift just crazy amounts. So summer, I got to lift however I want it. When I come in here, during this year, I'm not gonna lie, we've done workouts harder than we've ever. Like last year was nothing compared to whatnot. But I love it though because I'm not in a sport right now. I can rip my body up. My dad always told me just beat your body up right now, right? You got nothing to lose, right? Everything I'm doing is just off-season training right now. So strength for me definitely. And I know I put on this past summer I put on 10 pounds, which is huge for me. So strength for me, just to be able to lift. I've been doing dips and pull-ups since I was always so young. My dad had me doing it. It is a mental game, wrestling lacrosse, but I mean, it comes down to it. If the kid's bigger than you, and I mean, he puts you on the ground, I mean, because you're just not lifting hard enough, I mean, it's going to happen. You see it, especially knowing that I'm going to college level. I'm going to have to get bigger. And so this weight room here is something special to me. There's been hard days, there's been great days, but if you come in here with a mindset that you just do want to get better, and that you stop thinking about all the hard stuff you're doing, you just do it, then you'll walk out and you'll never regret it for sure. That's the thing I love the most. Like nobody wants to come in the weight room sometimes, right? But you'll never go out and be like, oh, I wish I didn't go into it, right? You'll always be like, oh, I'm glad I did it. No matter what it was, you'll be glad you did it.
Can you think of a moment? Let's go to one of your face-off. Obviously, we're not naming names, but let's think about an opponent, whether it be a school or a opposing player. When you know for a fact the weight room led the way and you having a high winning percentage.
Oh yeah. So
can you think of a time?
I'm really trying to think more of this sophomore year probably. So this year for me, I learned how to actually face off better, like the actual face. Sophomore year, I was just being aggressive, right? So sophomore year, I was lifting hard. I was finally started putting on some more weight. And so out there on the field, I wasn't getting the clamp. The clamp is like when your sticks are lined up, right? You try to get your stick over the ball first. That's called the clamp, right? Well, I wasn't as good as it. I didn't know what I was doing. So I just all right, I wrestle, right? I'm just going to try to beat the crap out of it. And it worked. It really did work a whole bunch. Now, obviously, against the more higher level guys,
more skilled guys,
they're smart. So it didn't work, but against, especially playing a lot of teams around here, I was able just to really just kind of rip through and just not know what I was doing, just be aggressive. What I've done from weight room, what I've done from wrestling, and it helped me. I probably won. I mean, that year, my percentage was probably 40%, like face-off win percentage, which isn't that good, but 30. Maybe 25% of the time was just from hitting the kid, like just like pulling their stick away and bodying them when they pull the ball out, just waiting for them, hitting them, just kind of being like, I don't care if you're bigger than me, I'm just gonna go up and hit you in the mouth. Because sophomore year, so that was definitely the biggest time I remember just using my strength, not technique, just going out there being like, I'm just gonna try to hit you. And it worked.
And it worked 40% of the time.
It worked 40% of the time. Now that's 60% of the time now. I'll give it to them, but I'll give that to them. That's cool.
Yeah, that's good. Nutrition. Obviously, multi-sport athlete, you have to stay fueled.
Oh yeah,
you have to. So I've been using the slogan like, "What is your hack? What works for Max Sciro?" Let's start breakfast. Let's go lacrosse season. Let's say you have a game on a Thursday night. So what's the average breakfast for Max Sciro, like a Monday, Tuesday, a non-game day? Is breakfast any different than game?
So non-game day, thing about me, I definitely love, I'm a big on Eggo guy, like waffles. Eggos. I love me some Eggos, man. They fill you up too. So if it's not an Eggo, it's usually a big.
How many?
Oh,
because you're not eating one.
And we're going 3. We're going 3 for sure.
Got it.
We're going 3 for sure. Loading that thing with syrup and everything. Yeah, it's probably not the healthiest thing, but it works. So if it's not that, then it's probably either oatmeal or it's a bagel with cream cheese, just something to get in my stomach. Because the worst thing, I hear people all the time say, don't eat breakfast. I love breakfast. Breakfast is like dessert to me. I can't wait to make that. Now though, we go to game day. On game day.
Game day breakfast.
It's probably the worst breakfast too. I always have Lucky Charms. Like,
oh, come on.
Probably don't get me wrong, I'll eat more later in the day, but at the beginning of the day, man, I didn't eat Lucky Charms. I'm superstitious.
There you go. I
did not eat Lucky Charms one day, and I swear, this is maybe sophomore year, and we lost that game now, and my mom was pissed at me when I came home because I told her there's no Lucky Charms at the house. So Lucky Charms is the way to go from your game day.
Game day. All right, coaches, you heard it. Lucky Charms. All right, so now let's go to lunch. Cafeteria, or are you packing a bag? Like, what's your thing?
So this year, for me, luckily for me, I get out for 4th period. So I go home now. My dad, he loves to cook, so he's been cooking me. So my family's huge on pasta. Huge on pasta. Pasta, how much running I do, I think it's the best thing for you.
Yes.
So definitely for me, my dad usually has this huge Tupperware of pasta at the house, so he'll make it every week, right? And we just go snack. But he's also been starting to make chicken rice a whole bunch, and so I'll eat that over and over.
Chicken and rice?
Chicken and rice, yep.
Chicken breast?
No, it's it's actually been a lot of chicken and steak too. Thinking about it now, it's been a lot. I mean, rice and steak. It's been a lot of rice and steak.
Oh man,
my dad cooks and I just eat it, man.
He's a good man.
He enjoys cooking, so yeah, he definitely does. So he feeds me well, because when I was here sophomore and freshman year and junior year, when I was eating in the cafeteria, it's not exactly your home food. So first week of school, I always brought my food to school. I always brought food from home, and I was like, I'm gonna do this every day. And then by sophomore, you don't know where your lunchbox is anymore. Second week of school, you have no food at the house sometimes. But this year, and like I said, I've put on about 8-10 pounds this past summer and this throughout this fall here. That's been because I've gone home and I've just my dad also has me these Fairlifes. He says to me every time I finish a meal, he wants me to finish a meal that when I almost feel a little bit sick, not sick like I'm gonna throw up or anything, but just like I'm over full. That's what he wants me to do.
You still trying
to put on weight? Yeah.
Do you have a number you're trying to get to weight wise? Like where are you now? Weight.
So right now I'm about 159, 160 in the mornings.
What's the number for you?
So I would love to play lacrosse, and it's going to be hard with wrestling.
Yes.
Because wrestling, even though I'm not going to try to lose weight this year, you naturally will just from the practice. I want to play lacrosse at 165. When I say 165, that means in the morning I weigh 165.
Got it.
So not at the end of the day, because anybody at the end of the day can put on 8 pounds and weigh that. But because I know for college, for me, like if I could be around 170, that'd be huge for me, because I've stopped. I'm not growing up here anymore, so it's time to put on it's time to put on some more muscle. But I've weighed sophomore year, junior year. I've weighed 150. I haven't put on any weight between sophomore and junior year. So to have this 8 pounds I've put on now, if I can get to 165 for the lacrosse season, that's 15 more pounds than I played out last year, which is huge, huge. So that's exciting.
That'd be a major difference.
Yeah, for sure.
So pasta, steak and rice.
Yep.
I'm assuming dinner probably varies depending on
dinner, my dad
or whatever.
So for dinner for me, actually, and I'll tell you about my pregame snack that I always have. But for dinner though, usually my dad, sometimes it is just more pasta. Don't get me wrong, but he usually sometimes he'll make steak. Sometimes he loves making sloppy joes, tacos. It's really just like any other household. He just makes a whole bunch of food. But like I said, my dad just makes sure that we eat all the food on our plate. Right? He doesn't want us leave the table without eating it all. It's good. It's good. And so I definitely get fed very well at the home. I don't like being hungry. And so I always just bring snacks to school throughout the day, because nothing like being hungry in math class or something like that. So, but if I go to my pregame ritual before this year, so my dad, after weigh-ins when I was younger, he always used to give me a Snickers and a honey bun after weigh-ins for wrestling. Well, when it comes to lacrosse, I need some energy. I need a little carbs, something to fill me up. So I don't know if these go together, but I always get an energy drink every time, give me a little going up. And then I have a honey bun every time.
What? I did not expect to hear that.
Yeah,
but go ahead, though.
Honey bun and an energy drink every time.
Oh my goodness, dude! Boy, you can't tell.
I'm a carb lover, so I
can tell.
I love carbs, but it's okay because I run it all off, So I love carb. Definitely the protein's big in there too. But so my it's an hour before. So I try to drink the energy drink an hour before the game starts. Really, just it's more to get me going in warm ups than anything, because I have had the energy drink way too close to the game before. Let's just say I was on something out there. I was jumping up and down way too much. Definitely went early a couple times here and there, but so that's been a big thing that I did this year, and people definitely judge me for it, but I don't care, because what works for me.
It works.
So,
it works.
Yep.
Yeah, so you're a big superstitious guy. So
100%.
What about hydration? So what's interesting about yours? Is it a difference hydration wrestling in comparison to lacrosse?
Oh, it's completely different.
Give us that.
So,
give us that.
Wrestling hydration. So freshman year when I was cutting weight, the thing that puts the most weight on you is water.
Yes.
So when you take out water, you lose a lot of weight. So freshman year, man, I not drinking near enough water I'm supposed to. It definitely affected my when I lose all this weight freshman year. I'd go out and wrestle, and I would just be, even though I'd after I weighed in, I'd chug a couple waters and Powerades. It's just not in my body still. So that for wrestling season, now that was only freshman year when I didn't drink enough water. It clearly affected me on the mats. I was just no energy at all. Sophomore year, junior year, I just started wrestling on my weight, so I was drinking water throughout the week, and it helped so much, especially because all that sweating you do at practice, you are soaked after practice of wrestling like no other sport, and so you need to go home and just start chugging water right away. But really this past year was when I was like, all right, I need to drink more water. So I put a gallon of water a day. Do I finish it? Most times no, but
that's the goal.
That's the goal though. So if I have it with me, I carry around to the house with me, right? I don't bring it to school with me. I just bring a water bottle to school with me. But at the house, I have one sitting next to my bed, and I just I try to drink as much as I can of it a day, because if it's there, the hard thing is just going to get the water. If it's true, like it's true. Like if you're sitting in your bed and there's no water around you, you're not going to go get up and get it. But like if it's right next to you, then you'll drink it, right? So that's the hard thing. So that's why I got to gap.
So that's your hydration hack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
go ahead and get it. So you have it's a gallon jug.
Yeah, so it's a gallon jug bought at like CVS or something.
So that's your hack. Mm-hmm. Your hack is, if I have the gallon jug, I'm good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if I have to go and refill this water bottle,
go up, because my room's upstairs, so I have to keep going downstairs and upstairs just for 8 ounces of water every day. I mean, I'm not doing that. So I was like, I'm just gonna put it all right next to me and carry it around the house. And since then, I've been more hydrated than ever, because there's nothing like going to practice, man, and just knowing you're not hydrated, man, because they'll catch up to you.
And the thing about it is, to tell athletes all the time, when you get thirsty, it's already too late.
Oh, 100%.
So you out there, and you should have been, stay ready, so you don't have to get ready.
Exactly, man. No, and just since I started that little hack there, it's definitely helped me a lot. Sometimes in the middle of the night, I'm definitely up a lot because I go to the bathroom here and there. But
it's worth it though, right?
Oh, it's 100% worth it. It's helped me so much because, man, I've had freshman, sophomore year. I mean, I remember days where because I didn't bring a water bottle to school or anything like that, and I just went the whole day I just didn't think about it. And I went the whole day without drinking water, and that'd be a practice, my mouth be dry like that. And then you just, like you said, it's just too late, man.
Tough.
There's nothing, no matter how much water you drink right there, it's not.
Yeah, it's already too late.
It's too late. It's too late.
So you got no nutrition. You have you got your pregame ritual. Yep. You got your Lucky Charm. You got your water hack. Let's talk about sleep, though. Mm-hmm. Are you do you feel good about the amount of sleep you get?
Oh, yeah, for sure. For me, I know lately it's been a little different, but go back to last year, I always try to, for homework-wise, and I'm bringing in homework, I work way better in the mornings. So when I come home from wrestling, I do not want to do math homework. I don't want to do it. My mind's still, like, going crazy. So I like to personally, like, go to sleep around 10, 11-ish, most likely 10, hopefully, and then wake up at 6 a.m. That's what I like to do, because then I just like the house is quiet, just kind of like an hour and a half just to yourself, do homework, knock it out. So that was me. Lately, it's been kind of the opposite, because since I'm a senior, I don't have as much schoolwork because I go to school for 4 periods. Yep. So I've been getting around 8 hours of sleep, which that's what I think.
That's great.
That's great right now, because I know some of my friends, man, that it's bad. Yeah. It is bad. So definitely 8 hours of sleep. But for me, I can't sleep in really anymore. My once I wake up once, if it's like somewhat within like 45 minutes of my alarm, I just wake up anyways. And then on the weekends, I try to sleep in, but right when that sun comes up, usually at 8 o'clock or like 8:30, I'm just up anyway. So but sleep for me, I know freshman year, like I keep bringing this back because freshman year wrestling was tough for me. It taught me a lot of lessons, don't get me wrong, but it was tough for me. And sleep was definitely a big problem in that I wasn't getting enough sleep. I was just thinking too much, and just having now the consistency of like, all right, like when it gets this time, I'm shutting my phone off. Like I have to go to sleep, and then waking up at like the same time every day. It helps so much. Yeah.
Got like a routine.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yep.
So it sounds like because you're so consistent with your activity, meaning you've been doing wrestling so many years, lacrosse so many years. You learn a lot about yourself. You learn what works.
Oh yeah.
What doesn't work. You just made a comment about you learned at a certain time you have to shut your phone off, because for you, I have to do that in order to get you, whether it be the 8 hours or 6 hours, whatever. So I'm assuming you feel a certain way when you wake up after those 8 hours.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. When I definitely know when I get those 8 hours of sleep, but recently as much, because I'm not like, I try to like obviously sleep. You need it throughout the whole year, but especially when I'm in season. As right now, I'm not in season, so my schedule's definitely not perfect right now sleeping, but that's okay. I'll live by it. I have time to take naps, I guess. So but definitely in season, man. When I shut off that phone and just like know that, like I said, I try to go to sleep around 10, 11 o'clock if I can. Like that. So I'll shut it off, and then if I wake up at 7 or 6, like I'll know if I get a good sleep. And I can easily wake up, but it's by that, like, after that 5th period when it was last year, then you feel like, like 7th period sometimes. I mean, I definitely have my head on the table in some classes. So, but those days I got those big amount of sleeps, practice was better, games were better. I was just in a better mood the whole day. So I think that, especially in high school, it's hard, man. It's hard, man. People want to stay up all night, and like I've done that before. I mean, we've all do it, but I think just having like consistency of just trying to go to sleep early and then waking up. I think going to sleep early, waking up early is the best thing for you, honestly.
Absolutely.
But people, I'm not hating on sleeping in. I mean, look, I like sleeping in too here and there. if I can. But I think going to sleep early and waking up early is definitely the best, and it's helped me the most.
I like that. I like that. Academics. Obviously, you're a senior now, so you've earned the right to kind of take a load off, if that makes sense. But just think about high school in general. 3-sport athlete for 2 years. Last year just 2 sports off. You do the same thing this year. What's your hack? How do you balance athletics, academics, got my nutrition, got my hydrate. How do you balance it all and still be in good standing?
Yeah, so it's like more of a consistent schedule, like I said. Like I mentioned this earlier, but like coming home from practices a lot, like my head is just, I'm not an afternoon person when it comes to work, right? Like when it gets past after practice time, all I want to do is usually go home and just kind of like let my mind chill, right? Especially if I've been at school the whole time. So definitely that waking up early at 6 a.m. to do my homework, that helped tremendously compared to freshman year or sophomore year. I started that sophomore year, and it helped so much. So that was huge for me. But I mean, putting it all together, man, it just it's not easy at all balancing it. I'm not gonna lie, but once you kind of get that consistency of this is how I'm gonna do it, right? I'm gonna spend this much time doing this much time doing that, this and that. It all starts to come together, and then it's just kind of like a routine. Like you wake up. No one's telling you what to do. It's just like, I know I have to do this. I know I have to do that. Help sessions, lunch and learn was actually huge for me. Definitely because of the Lambert wrestling room. I'll go in there all the time, usually just study. So it's like an extra hour just to study.
Now explain when you say lunch and learn for the people that don't know what that is. What is that?
Lunch and learn is kind of like a free period, basically. It's just when you have your lunch, but usually everyone's in the cafeteria packed in there, so it's pretty loud. Obviously I don't have a lunch this year, but when I did, freshman year through junior year, I used to just go to the locker room for my wrestling and just kind of sit in there by myself and just get that extra hour of work, because right there I'm more motivated to do it than I would be at 6 o'clock coming home from practice. So just finding those time, whether it be in the morning, whether it be like in the school day, like assignment ends early, you still got 20 minutes left in class, just try to knock out your homework real quick, because I'd much rather do it there than come home and do it, because I come home and do it, I probably won't do it right. And I probably won't do half.
You probably won't do half of it because mentally you're not there.
Exactly, I'm just not there at all, so I have no motivation of doing it.
Right. So you don't mind spending time by yourself, sounds like it.
No, yeah.
Because you've said that a couple of times, talking about a couple of different scenarios. What does spending time by yourself, really, is doing homework or, preparing for your next event? What does spending time by yourself? Because you said a couple of things that stood out. You said doing something by myself or going somewhere where it's quiet, waking up early. What does that do for you?
Like for me, being by myself, like don't get me wrong, I love hanging out with my friends. I love hanging out with my family. Like, I couldn't do anything without them, definitely. But just kind of that, like, maybe even just like 20 minutes just a day, just being by myself, just kind of thinking of everything that's going on. I know for me, I'm big in my faith. So like I spend like, 20, 30 minutes a day, just kind of with God talking and everything, just rather than scripture, reading Bible verses. That's for me. But it just kind of, just kind of sets the day for me. So when I can go do homework by myself, when it's quiet, no distractions, just me and that sheet of paper in front of me that is battling with, it's honestly so relaxing, because I'm being a multi-sport athlete, I'm with people all the time. All the time at school, I'm with people all the time. So be able to be by yourself and just kind of just like rest, knowing that nothing's going on, man. I think waking up early though has definitely been the biggest one for me, because my parents are usually up, but I don't see them in the morning usually, because I'm just in my room. And so that has been special. Just kind of gets my mind right for the day, being by myself, because you know what you need to do. No one has to tell you it, and it helps so much. Yeah.
I like it. Leadership style. What is your... If I ask one of your teammates, what kind of leader is Max? What would they say? What's your leadership?
So when I think of leadership, so for me, obviously wrestling, I was captain last year. I'm captain this year for lacrosse. I just got announced captain for this upcoming year too.
Congrats on that.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Congrats on that.
I'm excited about that, and my parents are happy about that. But I think when it comes to leadership, there's two different people. You can be a leader, you can be a coach, right? Don't get me wrong. Like telling kids what to do, it's awesome. It's awesome. That's what you're supposed to do. But then you can be a butthead, or you can be, you can actually help them, right? And I think sometimes like we have these leaders and I've seen it in the past, especially on our team sometime, where like they're trying to be too much of a coach, and then you don't gain respect from the players on a team. And so for wrestling, for me especially, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna just enjoy being with these kids, right? Obviously I'm gonna tell them, like, you know, what they're doing wrong, you know, if they're screwing around too much, right, like, get it together. But I'm not gonna be a jerk about it, you know, because honestly I want them, if they respect you, then they'll listen to you. If you're just being on them 24/7 about you doing this wrong, doing that wrong, you know, you're not good enough here and there, then they'll just honestly block you out, and then they'll never listen to you. Yeah. So I think
tend to do that a lot.
Exactly. So I think if you like create a relationship with all the kids, and you just try to, like, you know, just build trust with them, and just, you know, still get on them, because, you know, everyone's gonna mess up. I mess up all the time, obviously, but I think when you build that with them, and then so they can have respect for you, when they gain that respect for you, they'll listen to you. And so I think that's huge. So not being a coach, but being like a leader, actually, a kid that, like, you know, because at the end of the day, we're all just players on a team, right? No one's above each other. Obviously, you might have better players here and there, but without each other, I mean, there's no team at all. So if you're like a dictator for the team, then nobody's gonna respect you at all.
Yes. As we wrap it up here, multi-sport athlete. You like. We say multi-sport athlete, your name has to come up because you've done it. Normally, multi means two in our world, but you've tri-sport athlete, right? So if you had to give words of wisdom to the young athletes, we talking middle school, high school athletes, on the advantages of being a multi-sport athlete, what would be your words of wisdom for them?
I think starting out young, and sometimes it might be the parents, that their kids think that they're going pro and this and that, right? And to be honest, it's not going to happen, most likely. Like, it's just not going to happen. So when you're young, when you're in middle school, elementary school, try to do everything you can. Just try out everything, see what you love, see what you like. I'm not saying you have to do 3 sports in high school, but do as much as you can, man, because I promise you won't regret it. I played, even before I played wrestling, lacrosse, and football, I played many other sports, and just I enjoyed it all. Do as much as you can, because when he does get to high school, it's hard to do 3. It is very hard. But the advantages from it, really, it's just like I said, I get 3 different teams, so 3 different huge friend groups that I get to hang out with, and I think that's so huge to me. Coaches, 3 different sets of coaches, 3 different leadership roles, 3 different, just techniques and just skills that I have to learn, and just honestly, and balancing it with the school, it's just it's a lot, but it teaches you so much. And I think that was the best thing ever, is my parents, when I first, because wrestling was the first thing I ever started with, and like I said, I had a group of friends that stick with it, right? My parents telling me that you're not just wrestling, is probably the best thing ever done for me, because now on, like I said, I'm going to play lacrosse in college, right? And without that, I would have never went to go play lacrosse. So I think just, play everything that you possibly can, give it all you can, because when it comes to high school, it's hard to do all 3, and then, or 2, it even is. So, when you do everything you can in the youth way you can, and just when you get to high school, when you have to slim something down, that's okay, when you have to focus on it, but I promise you won't regret, just playing what you love. Have fun while you can, man, before it gets too serious.
Right. Speaking of too serious, well, we're not going to frame it as too serious, but we know it's about to get more serious. Your next chapter. Yeah. Yes, you have a senior year, and we wishing you guys luck. Hopefully, you have a great season and you can bring home another state championship. But this time next year, we just talked about this off camera. You say freshmen reported today.
Yep, they did.
So this time next year, where will you be? And what will you be doing? So
this time next year, I'll be at St. John's University, which is right outside of New York City, playing Division I lacrosse there, facing off.
Face off, baby.
Face off. For me, I never thought I was going to go up in North at all. Literally, I'm a Southern boy, definitely. I don't really like the cold, but I'm definitely going to bring a coat up there. I'm so excited for it. Just kind of a new adventure up there. It's right outside New York City. I think I've been in New York City a couple times. I think it's awesome. And just for me, definitely, I love lacrosse. I can't wait to play it in college, but my parents always taught me the biggest thing to do in your life is just get a family, right? Get a family that you can support, right? So have a family that you can support. I know that being in New York City gives me many options for business opportunities right after that to build a life and build it as fast as I can. So I'm definitely nervous because I'm so blessed with everything I have here, the relationships I have with all of my friends here, friends and family. So but also at the same time, I know that I'm gonna be just fine. And the coaches up there is kind of like a person I want to be as when I was talking to him, when I was up there with him. So it kind of inspired me this is what I really want to go. So next year's definitely gonna be a huge change for me going across the country, different weather, different friends and family, but I'm super excited for the opportunities because at the end of the day, it's just 4 years, So go out there, have fun. I'm gonna try to enjoy it as much as I can. Hopefully, I get something out of it that I want to.
Yep. Now, have you thought about what do you want to do career-wise, or what do you consider majoring in?
Kind of a couple different things here. For me, honestly, like, I mean, haven't thought a whole bunch about it, but I mean, my parents always talked to me about really kind of this cybersecurity, like CIA almost path kind of bit, because I know for me, like, you put me in a desk, I'll work the first hour, the next 7 hours I will not be working there. So I kind of want to do more hands-on stuff where I'm moving as much. So I think that'd be cool. Also, you know, thinking about, you know, maybe being a chiropractor too, something like that. So I think that just something that involves movement, something that is something enjoyable, because obviously at the end of the day, like, I know right away you're not going to be able to you know, find your dream job most likely, but at the end of the day, when I'm 40, 50, 60 years old, I want to be doing something that I enjoy.
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
I definitely haven't, you know, a little thought into it here and there, but still undecided. We'll just, I know I got time to figure that out. So we'll just, we'll see what happens.
Well, I think it's safe to say you know what you don't want to do.
Exactly.
You don't want to be behind a desk for 8 hours a day.
No, I'll work those first hour, that morning shift I'll work. Then after that, man, you're going to have me spitting stuff, just ignoring people probably, stuff like that. Yeah.
I like it.
You not want to be there.
Well, look, man, first of all, thanks for taking time out of your schedule to sit down and chat. I learned a lot about you. I've had you for 4 years, but it's amazing just sitting down and having this conversation, learning the backstory behind, you know, going to the sporting store, meeting Coach Lewis. Now you're part of the team. But one of the biggest things I learned about you is you are very intentional. You know what you like, you know what you don't like, you know what works for you.
Oh, yeah.
And what works for you is spending time by yourself. So many minutes or hours out of the day. That's important for you.
Oh, yeah.
And because you feel like it gets you in a certain headspace, and it helps you be successful. You're successful in the classroom, you're successful in, I mean, 2 sports. And then you love being on the big stage. Oh, yeah. Like you live for the big stage, right? So, but I'm proud of you for what you've accomplished. What's crazy is you still got 1 more year. It's like we're talking as if high school is over.
I know.
We still have a full wrestling season.
Yeah, full lacrosse.
We still have a full lacrosse season. And you have a chance to get on the big stage 2 more times. So good luck to you.
Yes, sir.
And once again, thank you for stopping by.
No, thank you so much, man. That's awesome. Yes, sir.
Peace. All right, man. Max Sciro, y'all. All good. Good job, big dog.